The risk score is an important term for the PMI-RMP exam, and you should expect 1 or 2 questions similar to the examples I will be explaining in this lecture. In performing qualitative risk analysis process, we aim to rank the risks within a project in order to prepare the prioritized list of risks. It is done through the calculation of the risk score of each risk using the probability and impact ratings. So, in the following section, we will be introducing the expected monetary value concept, which is similar to the risk score concept, but here we will multiply the probability and impact ratings only. The formula will be the risk score equals the probability rating multiplied by the impact rating. In order to calculate the risk score, probability and impact matrix should be completed earlier. The project risk score, overall project risk score, will be the sum of individual risk scores of the project and then divide them by the number of risks. Risk score can give you an indication of risk severity for the purpose of ranking only. Quantitative analysis will give you the exact numerical amount of risks severity. Quantitative analysis, mainly represented by the expected monetary value, will be explained in the following section. Here is an example of a probability scale which we might use while determining the risk score, and the impact scale which might be used again while you are determining the risk score. Now, using such scale will tell you that if you have a risk with an impact of an over budget by 20% and a delay by 20%, then you need to give an impact rating of 6 for this risk. If you have a risk with a very high probability, you will give it a rating of 8. So this is how you will be using these scales to determine the risk score. Example number 1, referring to the previous charts, complete the following table. You have 4 risks. The probability and impact is given for each risk. The question is asking about the risk score and the risk ranking. Simply determine the rating. So if it is a low, it will be 2.5, as low on the scale was between 2 and 3. Okay. If it's very high, you will give it 8. If the impact is a project failure, you will give 10, and so on. So the risk score for risk A will be 20, for risk B will be 1, for risk C it will be 12, and for risk D it will be 32. So the highest ranking risk is the one with the highest risk score, which will be risk D, then A, which is 20, then C, then B. This is how you are going to develop a prioritized list of risks as an output of the perform qualitative risk analysis process. Another example, you have the following table of risks in your project. Which risk will be the team biggest concern? In order to determine the risk which will be the team biggest concern, we need to calculate the risk score, and the risk with the highest risk score will be the one with the biggest team concern. Now, the difference between this example and the previous one, that in this example, we are not given any charts for the probability and impact rating. So simply we will develop one. So we are assuming that very high will be 5, high 4, medium 3, low 2, and very low 1. The risk score equals probability by impact. By doing the simple math, you will have the risk with the highest risk score is risk C, therefore it will be the team's biggest concern. The risk B will be the team's least concern. So expect 1 or 2 questions in the exam similar to these examples.